Hello friends, this is Akash Misar here and welcome back to my YouTube channel, that is Mechanical Engineering Make Easy. In previous lecture we have started new subject, that is engineering mechanics. This is second lecture of engineering mechanics. Okay, and in previous lecture we have studied some basic concepts of force and etc. And in this lecture we are going to study some basic laws of forces and etc. Okay, so we will start with law of polygon of forces. What is law of polygon of forces? Law of polygon of forces means if there are different forces, okay, acting on one body or on one point, and if we are arranging that forces likewise in one sequence, for example this is having 0 degree and this much amount of magnitude, then a2 bar having for example 45-degree angle and this much amount of magnitude, then a3 again have 0 degree angle, a4 have plus 45-degree angle, likewise a5 have some angle. Likewise if there are some an minus 1 forces, and that will form one polygon, but to complete that polygon we need to have one force, okay, one extra force, and that extra force which is going to close that polygon, that is nothing but resultant force of all the forces. Okay, if there is any force which is going to close that polygon, and ultimately that force is nothing but resultant of all other forces or all other sides of this polygon. Okay, this is the basic principle of law of polygon of forces. So draw this figure, and if you have any confusion, then you can give me in comment box, you can ask me in comment box, otherwise this is only very basic. So r bar will equal to a1 bar plus a2 bar plus a3 bar up to an minus 1 bar. Okay, so r bar will equal to a1 bar plus a2 bar up to an minus 1 bar. How much forces there? All the summation of all the forces will be r bar, and that is nothing but resultant force, and which will going to close that polygon. Okay, so draw this figure and this formula, note down this formula. Now we will move towards another law, that is nothing but sine rule or Lami's theorem. Okay, next is Lami's theorem, or another name of this is nothing but sine rule. If there are three number of forces, for example this is point, and from this point there are three forces. Okay, so this will be alpha, beta and gamma, the angles between respective forces. Okay, so maybe this is f1, then this will be f2, and this will be f3. So what is the sine rule? Sine rule is nothing but f1 upon sine alpha, means the force which is acting, for example this is f1 we have taken, so the angle between other two forces, that is nothing but sine alpha, that we have to take here. So f1 upon angle between other two forces, remaining two forces, that is nothing but alpha. So f1 upon sine alpha, which is equal to f2 upon sine beta, which is equal to f3 upon sine gamma. This is the theorem, that is nothing but Lami's theorem or sine rule. So draw this figure and note down this formula also. This formula is too much important while solving numericals of mechanics also, the numericals of strength of material, theory of machines, etc. This formula is too much basic for all kinds of numericals. Okay, if there are three forces and we know angle between all that forces, then ultimately we can calculate the magnitude of force or anything else that we need to calculate, that we can calculate with the help of this sine rule. Then next is Varignon's theorem. Varignon's theorem, or there is another name, that is nothing but law of moments. Okay, another name is law of moments. And what exactly Varignon's theorem is? The moment of force about a point which is equal to sum of moment of forces components about a point, means if there is any point, for example this point, so moment of force about this point will equal to sum of moment of force about this point. Okay, how it will be? The resultant force, we will show it by, for example, if this is the case there, and yes, for example, we need to calculate the moment about this point. For example, this is point O, and we have calculated all the resultant force which may be acting here. Okay, this is resultant force denoted by R. Okay, and we need to have the value of perpendicular distance. Okay, perpendicular distance between resultant and this point O, that will be denoted by X. So ultimately summation of all moments will equal to R into X. If there are number of forces, for example, I will again give you example. This is the beam there, and we need to calculate moment about this point O, and here the forces acting may be likewise. Okay, see, this is F1, F2, and this is F3. What happened? We have calculated resultant of F1, F2 and F3, and which is denoted by R, and which is have a distance from O, that is nothing but X. Okay, that R is going to locate at the distance X from O. So that summation of moment at point O will equal to R into X. That we can calculate from this also, that is nothing but, for example, this is L1, then this is L2, and this is L3. So from this, how we will get? That is nothing but moment at O equal to F1 into L1 plus F2 into L2 minus F3 into L3. Okay, I have taken downward forces positive and upward forces negative. That will depend on which kind of moment we are taking here, that positive or negative. Depending on that, the sign only change. Okay, but the moment at O will be likewise, and we need to eliminate this all the calculations. So for that, if we have resultant force and the perpendicular distance between resultant force and point O, so ultimately summation of moment at O will equal to R into X. So note down this formula. Possible, if possible, draw these two figures, and for your concept clearation, you can note down this formula also. So this is all about Varignon's theorem or law of moment. Now we will move towards next, that is nothing but couple. What is couple? Couple is nothing but if two forces are acting in opposite direction. Okay, so that will form a couple. For example, this is one force and this is another force, and both have magnitude same, that is P and P, but both are in opposite direction, and that forces have the perpendicular distance between them, that is nothing but maybe small d. Okay, so ultimately what happens if two unlike parallel non-collinear forces having same magnitude, which is equal to couple? I think I have given you idea about the types of forces, like and unlike forces and parallel forces, etc., etc. So in that, this is unlike parallel forces. Okay, as direction is opposite, so unlike parallel forces, and if these unlike parallel forces acting, then this forms the couple. Okay, and the resultant of couple is always 0. Okay, the resultant will always 0, as upward couple is upward forces are having same magnitude, and downward forces also having same magnitude, that is P. So P minus P will always become 0. So this is the we can say one condition of couple, that the resultant force will equal to 0. Okay, so this is all about couple. If you have any confusion, then you can comment me, and otherwise, if you are enjoying my session, then please like, share and subscribe. So we will now move towards the principle of transmissibility. Principle of transmissibility means, what will be the case if there is any body? For example, this is one body. Okay, and here is one point A, okay, and this is axis of force from which the force is acting. For example, this is force F is acting at the point A, okay. So along this axis of force we can change the point of application of that force. So ultimately, if that body, same body is here and this is same axis of force, here that was point A and we have shifted that force to point B in same axis, okay, along with that same axis. So this system will give us same amount of forces, same couple and etc etc. All the properties of this force system and this force system will same. So if there are some complications to consider that force here, we will transmit that force to another point, but that point should be on that same line of action of force, okay. So that's the main condition here, and if we are satisfying that condition, then all the systems of force will be having equivalent equivalent to each other. So this is nothing but principle of transmissibility, means we can transfer that force from one point to one point, and that point should be located on force of that line of action of force, okay. So this is all about the principle of transmissibility, and I have designed all the content that is over now, and we are moving with our bonus points, okay. So if you have enjoyed my session, then please like, share and subscribe. Share to your friends, because this is too much important concepts for GATE point of view also, and if you are doing your B, then also these all the concepts are too much important for you. Then in bonus point we are going to move with principle of superposition. What is principle of superposition? Principle of superposition is nothing but if effect of force of a body remains unaltered, if we add or subtract any system which is in equilibrium, okay. Means in first case, that is nothing but the principle of transmissibility. The point of application of force we can change, okay, but that should be that point of line, that line of action, okay, that point should be located on line of action. And now we are moving with principle of superposition. And what is the principle of superposition? If there is any system, okay, and for example here the force F is acting and this is point A, okay, and if for any simplicity we are adding or subtracting one force system, for example this is point B, okay, and this is point A, this is line of action of force F. So here the force F is acting, okay, this is not problem. So this body and this body is up till now it is same, and this is point B, for example this is point A, and at point B what we have done, that we have one force from this direction, maybe denoted by P, and same from this direction also. So ultimately what happened, this system is now in equilibrium, because from right side there is a force P and from left side also there is force P. So ultimately this is in equilibrium. So if there is any system that is in equilibrium, and if we are going to add that system to our force system, then that will not have any effect on our force system. So this is nothing but principle of superposition. I have shown here the forces horizontally, that forces may be vertically, may be in line of action also, okay, and in major cases we will use the equilibrium condition at line of action. This means from this direction and this direction, okay. So because that will give us some simplicity of problem, so that's why we uses the principle of superposition. Means if there is, we are going to add any body which is in equilibrium, then that will not have any effect on our previous body, previous force system, okay. This is what all about I have designed for today's lecture, and in next lecture I will come up with equilibrium of force system, in that the equilibrium equation, resultant force, etc etc. So up till now you can watch my all videos. I have designed for a separate playlist for all separate subjects, so go to my channel, watch that all videos, and if you are enjoying, then please like, share and subscribe. Okay friends, we will meet again. Thank you.